You are tuned into WDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artist, and this is Big C in the morning. This is the Friday morning show that starts your Friday morning right and your weekend early. So, how are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing this morning? I hope you guys are doing great. I, for once, am actually doing a whole lot better than my last show. As you probably recall or don't recall, last show I was less energetic, but I promise you this time I will be more energetic. And if I'm not energetic, you can just I don't know. You can just probably turn off, but please don't. I'll be more energetic this time. So, all right. So today's topics we're gonna talk about today some pretty big topics I picked. So yeah, let's get down into it. To our first topic: TV shows and movies. They've been around for a long time, a very, very, very long time. Now, sometimes you get a hit like the TV shows, like a TV show that's really, really in with a lot of people, and then you get a movie that's a like they get out of like $1 billion in the box office. Like it's a big blockbuster hit. Say like Avengers, Harry Potter, Avatar, those kinds of movies. You have like big hits and then like all of a sudden Hollywood's like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reboot the movie slash TV or and if you're watching a TV show, we're gonna reboot the TV show. It's gonna be so completely different. So yeah, we're talking about reboots today. Um, I want to know from you guys, what are some of your favorite TV show slash movie reboots, or what are your least favorite? And also, another big question: do you think that the TV shows and movies should be rebooted? You can type your comments in the comment section below, and I will read them on the air. So yeah, for me, I think some movies and TV shows could be kind of need to be rebooted because some of these TV shows and some of these movies are not even that good. Um, they usually just last probably like maybe a season or two, maybe 4 seasons, 5 seasons, and then they just like completely run out of ideas and just shut the show down. Honestly, I feel like TV shows they're usually good for like about 5 seasons, but see shows like Big Bang Theory, Modern Family that have been going on for like 10 or more seasons, and honestly, I don't feel like some other TV shows are barely even trying. Like shows like Broke that got canceled. Um, a lot of other TV shows also were canceled. I completely forgot. Um, but sometimes when you see like a TV reboot, like say MacGyver or Magnum PI, you know it's not going to be like the same as it was once before. Because back in like either the 80s or 90s or whenever, everyone was talking about Magnum PI and MacGyver. Like those were like the top two shows back in the 80s and 90s. And I think if 80s and 90s people saw these shows today, they'll be like, this is different from what I remembered because I'm so old. But I think that's the thing. Like sometimes you're not gonna if a TV show gets or a movie gets rebooted, it's not gonna have the same actors you've had once before. It's always gonna have some different guy. It could be that Twilight guy, the vampire, or it could be Leonardo DiCaprio, or it could be Justin Bieber. You just never know who's gonna be on these reboots because sometimes if like a TV show and a movie gets or a movie gets rebooted and then it does poorly, then obviously they're not going to make more of it because they need to hit that. They need to hit that like sweet spot with the people. If you don't hit the sweet spot with the viewer, then you're gonna not do any more of the show or the movie. And like, Hollywood is like making a monopoly off of these reboots. Like there have been so many reboots, I I can't even count how many reboots there are. I mean, there's been like 50 billion reboots of A Star Is Born. A Star Is Born was like made back in like 1950s, I think, and it's been rebooted about like a bunch of times. Like it's ridiculous. Just make one movie just make one plain old movie. One Star Is Born and that's it. No reboots. If you do a reboot of the same movie like 50,000 times, you're going to be like, "Oh, which one is better? Which one is better?" They're basically the same movie, but just written differently and with like different actors. Like seriously, why do you think that that it's a good idea to reboot the same movie about 5 times and then just stop it right there? Oh boy, and you know what? I can't wait to see A Star Is Born reboot again in 2035. Because honestly, let's just admit it. There's gonna be A Star Is Born, you know, every probably 20 years or something, maybe even sooner. But yeah, that's just what I'm thinking of right now. It's pretty weird and confusing. We got a comment from Meech. Shout out to Meech. He says a good reboot also depends on the actors because some people that are actors now only got there because of their looks. I agree. A lot of actors get into the Hollywood business with their looks. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's see who else. Zac Efron. Yeah, Zac Efron definitely. Um, yeah, basically any any actor that's like has a good headshot. If you have a like, if you like headshots are like the like audition material for actors. Like they take pictures of you, and then you send them into the Hollywood agency, and whoever has the good looks gets an agent, and whoever doesn't, um, well, they just simply have to do better or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of the point. If some reboots like have well-known actors and like actors that have been in movies before, and yeah. Oh, we got a comment from James. He says some reboots should be left alone. Yeah, I agree. Some reboots should definitely be left alone. Um, a reboot in particular for me that I believe should be left alone is the reboot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, back in 1971, they released Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which was based on the book named Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl, and it was a hit with like a bunch of people back in 1970, especially my mom. She liked it. She liked that movie a lot. But Roald Dahl, he hated that movie. Yeah, the writer and author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory hated Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And then like 34 years later, Tim Burton gets the directing role for the reboot, and he names it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory based off of the book. And to be honest, I feel like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the reboot of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, is the better reboot. So it's like because that reboot is similar to the book. Like seriously, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory film is really, really similar to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book. So that's what I feel like. If you're gonna like, that's also too for book movies. I feel like some book movies should be rebooted because if it's not similar to the book, I don't think anybody will like it. So it's best if you keep book movies as close to the book as possible. So yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a really great reboot. I feel like it should be left alone right there. And yeah, other reboots: Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Man, I actually never seen a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. I've actually seen part of the original 1990 movie. I actually seen some parts of it. Um, but the reboot with Michael Bay. I've actually never seen that one yet. But I heard it got good reviews, but I don't know. Oh, another comment from Meech. He says, "I don't think they should have rebooted The Lion King." Well, I think the Lion King. It's basically. I feel like the Lion King of 2019. I feel like it's a like a live action version rather than just I just than the like the Okay, so I've seen the original Lion King from 1994, and I thought it was pretty good. I actually never got to see the live action Lion King. I've seen I've seen people give them good reviews. I mean, I since I never seen the movie, I think I my guess is it's like same as the animated movie because if you're making a live action version of like an old Disney movie, I think it's the same, but stuff changes. And yeah, let's go to Disney. Oh, I got a lot of stuff to talk about Disney. We got a comment from my mom. She says, with all the new technology, they have now some reboots. They have now some reboots might be fun to see, like The Wizard of Oz. Honestly, I feel like The Wizard of Oz is fine the way it is. Just don't touch it. There are some movies that need to be rebooted, and some movies you don't touch. The Wizard of Oz is in the don't touch aisle. If you just don't touch it, don't touch it at all. Because if you touch it, you're gonna make a lot of fans angry, and stuff might be broken. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Meech says, honestly, the best part of the live action one was the ending. The ending, I haven't seen the ending of the live action Lion King because isn't it just like the same as the animated one? I mean, help me out here. I mean, I never seen the live action Lion King. I really wanted to see it, but I haven't been able. Sad. I'm missing out on a lot of stuff here. Yeah. Now back to the discussion. Disney. They're known for rebooting stuff. I mean, they made a live action version of Beauty and the Beast. They're doing Mulan sometime. I don't know when. I heard it got delayed. So yeah, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, Lion King, Aladdin, which I kind of want to see the Aladdin one. But yeah, Disney is known for doing reboots. Um, Speaking of, they Disney back in whatever year they purchased 20th Century Fox, and now they own Home Alone, The Simpsons, Night at the Museum, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, a lot of good movies, and they're gonna reboot some of them. They're rebooting Home Alone. Like, why would you reboot Home Alone? Another comment from Meech. He says the scene is extremely dark. Whoa, that's intense, bro. That's pretty intense. I need to see it. I need to see it. I need to find it. I need to get a Disney Plus account, but I know I don't have enough money. Oh well. But yeah, they're rebooting. Disney says they're going to reboot Home Alone, and I don't think you should reboot Home Alone. Home Alone was fine as it is, and then I heard like, you know, um, they're gonna make it R. Don't make it R. We got a comment. Oh, from my buddy Nick. Shout out to Nick. He says they should have left Aladdin alone. Hey, yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, they actually had Will Smith as the genie. That's not a bad choice. But honestly, nobody can top Robin Williams now. Robin Williams was the best genie ever, and it was sad when he passed away. But I don't think Aladdin was gonna be like, you can't do Aladdin without Robin Williams. Robin Williams is the true genie, people. He is the true genie, no doubt. Best genie ever. Greatest genie of all time. Let's leave it at that. So yeah. Back to the Home Alone thing. Um you shouldn't make Home Alone R. Like, if you make Home Alone an R-rated movie, you're just gonna take out the family fun out of Home Alone, because that's what it was. Like, Home Alone was family fun. It was just family fun, and that's what the original writer John Hughes was trying to do. Have a family friendly movie with a lot of slapstick comedy and a lot of inside jokes and product placement. Because that was the 90s. And honestly, I think some people and some directors should make movies like take the movie ideas of the 90s and just put them in today. That's what I liked about movies back in the 90s and 80s. It's good movie telling and storytelling, and it just feels right. It feels right. Like, sometimes I see movies today, it's a little different, but sometimes I like to go back to the past and watch a movie, like Back to the Future, Home Alone, My Cousin Vinny. Those good 80s movies and 90s movies. Especially Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Now, nothing can top Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Nothing can top it. Well, maybe Forrest Gump and The Shawshank Redemption. Those are good movies too. Now, if they rebooted Forrest Gump and Shawshank, I would have been sad. I would be sad. Because those movies are also, you can't touch. You can't touch Forrest Gump, and you can't touch Shawshank Redemption. You touch those movies, we will be sad. And a lot of stuff will be destroyed. So yeah, back to Disney rebooting stuff. Again, don't reboot Home Alone. It's a family film. Don't take out the family in family film. They're rebooting Night at the Museum. I don't know why. It's perfectly fine. I mean, the Night Museum trilogy was amazing. Like, Night at the Museum was good. 2 was better. And 3 was a thrilling conclusion. I saw 3 in the theater back in 8th grade. It was during middle school time. Now you're like asking, Colton, did you skip school to go see a movie? No, it was actually like an incentive day at my middle school. So I got to see Night at the Museum 3, which is Night at the Museum Secret of the Tomb. I thought that was a great movie and a thrilling conclusion to the series, because when Night at the Museum Secret of the Tomb released, 2 actors died before it was released, and that was Robin Williams and Andy Rooney. Wait, no, not Andy Rooney, but it's some old guy. Andy Rooney's a newscaster, not he's not an actor. Man, I don't know, but he was an old guy. He was an old short guy, bald. I think his last name was Rooney, but I don't remember. But yeah, two of those actors died. Robin Williams was one of them, and it was pretty sad because this was his final film role. Like in a Hollywood without Robin Williams is sad. But back to the reboot. If you basically reboot, you're basically like ruining those actors' old careers. Like Ben Stiller, he was great in Night at the Museum. Robin Williams played a great Teddy Roosevelt. Even Owen Wilson was even great as Jebediah. You know, the cowboy, the short cowboy. Because honestly, I feel like Owen Wilson is a great cowboy. He should be. Owen Wilson should be in a lot of cowboy movies. Honestly, I feel like they should reboot some of those old cowboy movies and make them look good, like better. Like if you've seen an old cowboy movie, um, like they have like cheap. There was like cheap effects. This was like back in the 50s and 60s. All these cowboy movies, they were cheap. Just like a chicken, cheap. So yeah, they should reboot some of those old cowboy movies to be like actually good because with the technology today, you can have better effects, better anything. Because honestly, you can create an explosion in After Effects. I haven't been able to do it, but I know some people are able to do it. Me, I just haven't had the time. So yeah. Oh well. But yeah. Another series that Disney's gonna reboot. Oh, we got a comment from my mom. She says yes, the acting is poor in those old cowboy movies. Yes. Excuse me. The acting in the old cowboy movies were very terrible. It almost seemed like a play, like an old high school play. They're like, "Howdy, partner. Howdy, sheriff. What are you doing here today?" That's the acting that I picture those old cowboy movies. High school um talent. High school talent. That's high school acting. High school acting should never be in any movie ever. Except for, plays. Plays and stuff, that's high school acting. Movies, no. So back to Disney, they rebooted I heard they're rebooting a really good movie I watched back in the olden days of elementary slash middle school. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. If you've never read the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, I'm ashamed of you because they're really good. Um, so I think it's a good idea here because guess what? They kind of ruined the movies back in the olden days. 20th Century Fox, they don't know what they were doing. So the first movie they released, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Second movie, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Roderick Rules. The third movie, Dog Days. They just skipped three. They just skipped three and went on to Dog Days. But I heard that you know Dog Days was supposed to be a mix of The Last Straw, which was the third book, and a mix of Dog Days. Don't mix books in together. It doesn't make any sense. It basically completely makes the movie bad. I'm sorry, but it does. If you mix books in together to make one whole movie, it's bad. Terrible, trash. No, don't do that. It's stupid. But yeah. And then I heard like they were gonna make Cabin Fever next. They were skipping five now, which five was The Ugly Truth. But I heard it was gonna be a mix of The Ugly Truth and Cabin Fever together. Again, don't mix books together. It doesn't make any sense. The viewer of the movie will be like, what did I just watch? Seriously, what did I just watch? And take for example, I don't know. Like okay, take for example Spider-Man. Actually, no, don't take Spider-Man. Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants was a good book. Take a Captain Underpants for example. If you combine, I don't know, let's say um the first one, and then you mix it in with um the fifth book, you're gonna be like, what in the world did I just watch? Like seriously, don't don't mix books together to make a movie, because if you do, it's gonna really confuse people. But thankfully, the last movie that was ever released was called Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul, which is like the ninth book in the series, and they just skipped a ton of books right there. Nick Miles says Percy Jackson. Yeah, Percy Jackson's a good book series. I don't think you should mix them up, because if you mix up the first book with the last book, you're gonna be like, that's not even right. That's not right. It's not right. Stop it. Get some help. Seriously, if you do that, people are gonna be sad and mad, and stuff might be destroyed. So yeah. Now to take a break on movies, we're gonna talk about TV reboots, and before we do that, I got a comment from Meech. Some of the horror movie reboots from the 80s and 90s were good. I'm waiting for the Candyman reboot. Yeah, the 80s and 90s horror movies were pretty good, especially Dracula with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves was in that movie. I haven't seen anything for the Candyman. I actually haven't seen the Candyman movie. I should probably find a copy and watch it. So yeah. Now on to TV show reboots, which I got like 3 minutes to talk about it. TV show reboots are okay if you have enough like writing material for it. Like TV show reboots like Murphy Brown got canceled because all they talked about was politics. Yeah, and another factor, if you're gonna reboot a movie or a TV show, don't talk about politics. So if you put politics into a TV show, it's not gonna do good. It's just gonna be trash, and people won't watch it. So again, please don't do politics. Politics is bad for your health. Actually, there's no scientific study that shows politics are bad for your health. But I'm just saying, don't do politics on your reboot. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. Especially Will and Grace. That TV show got rebooted and they were talking about politics. Guess what? Canceled. So again, don't do politics. No politics, please. No. Nick Miles says The Flash was a good reboot. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, have you seen the effects on The Flash? I mean, it was pretty good. The effects on The Flash was really good. Oh, we got a comment from Debbie. Shout out to Debbie. Hey, how you doing? Charmed isn't really bad. However, the original will always be the best. Okay. I actually haven't seen Charmed. Again, I'm a person that doesn't really see a whole lot of stuff. I know I need to get out more. See all these good movies and TV shows that I'm missing out on. So yeah, sorry. I'm not, adventuring into Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus to find all these good movies that people are watching. I know I'm a little sad. So yeah. So again, TV show reboots. You can do them. Just no politics and nothing that will make people get triggered. I know a lot of people get triggered over a lot of stuff. So don't do that. Also, if you're doing a movie reboot, do it right. Just do it right. All right, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the NBA. Yeah, NBA is back. Woo woo. You're listening to Big C in the morning on WUDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artists. We'll be right back.
what I liked the most about Ohio Media School was the hands-on training, like super hands-on. When I say that, like you would think that you'll come and you'll sit in class, you're not, you're probably in there 15 minutes, and then you're straight to work, like if you're in a regular business already. It really prepares you for your business. Speaking of business, it's really prepared me as well as getting my LLCs and everything together for marketing and media branching off. And I'll give a special shout out to Nikia, Justin, Philip, everybody else in the media school. Thank you. Awesome.
Well, I forgot to mute myself again. Thankfully, it wasn't for 50,000 minutes. So, yeah, I was muted. So, we're back with on WDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artist. And you're listening to Big C in the Morning. I'm energetic, and now I'm going to go retrack what I said. Whoopsies. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the NBA. They're back. Had a scrimmage this week. Next week they're gonna get some competition, and the only good basketball game on there is the Lakers and the Clippers. So yeah, and basically, I just wanted to give my own predictions for what the NBA playoffs are gonna be like. I think the playoffs are gonna be like in August. It's either gonna be August or September or October. I don't remember, but it's gonna be a while for the playoffs. So here are my picks for the playoffs. I'm gonna start in the West because the West is pretty powerful right now. I got the Lakers, and then the Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, the Utah Jazz, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, the Mavericks, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Portland Trailblazers. And then for the East, I got the Milwaukee Bucks, the Toronto Raptors, the Boston Celtics, the Miami Heat, the Indiana Pacers, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Orlando Magic. Now, I feel like that this is a pretty easy route for the Lakers because if the Lakers versus the Trailblazers, the Lakers are going to beat the Trailblazers. I mean, I heard Charles Barkley saying that the Trailblazers are going to beat the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, Charles Barkley has been wrong many times, and I don't think that the Trailblazers do not even have a chance. They do not have a chance at winning against the Lakers. Honestly, if you play against the Lakers, you're going to get toasted. So, yeah, if you play the Lakers, you're going to get beat. As for the Clippers, they're going to sweep. I think they're going to sweep the Mavericks. They are definitely going to go sweep the Mavericks. Just sweep, sweep, sweep. The Nuggets, they might be on upset alert if they verse Houston. Because Houston has James Harden and they have Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook and James Harden, when you get them on the same team, it's over. You're going to lose to them. But Russell Westbrook contracted COVID-19, but he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be coming back to the NBA and just destroy. We got a comment from Nick. He says Damian Lillard is someone they cannot underestimate. That is true. Damian Lillard is the top player for the Portland Trail Blazers, but can Damian Lillard carry a team that has never been to the final, or have they been to the finals? I don't know. Can he carry that team all the way to the finals? I don't think so. Damian Lillard as a one-man team, he's not LeBron. Like, Damian Lillard is not LeBron. I can tell you that. Because LeBron, he carried the 2007 Cavaliers to the NBA championship. All by himself. Well, if you count Xandris Ilgauskas and what was that guy? What was that other player's name? Varejao, Anderson Varejao. There we go. If you count like Ilgauskas and Anderson Varejao, then I guess you could say LeBron had some help. But I feel like LeBron carried that 2007 Cavaliers team. Damian Lillard is no Michael Jordan. He's not LeBron James. He's not Bill Russell. He's not John Stockton. He's not Karl Malone. He's not Gary Payton. He's Damian Lillard. And a lot of people are saying it's Dame time, like Damian Lillard time. I don't think so. I think Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers are going to lose to the Lakers 4-1. They'll win one game, and then that's it. It'll probably be game 4. They'll win game 4 and then lose game 5. So, yeah. Obviously, Lakers in 5, Clippers in 4, Rockets, and the Nuggets. I'm going to say Rockets in 6. Because obviously the Rockets are pretty good. They got Russell Westbrook and they got James Harden. So, yeah. Easy dub. Easy dub. Okay. The Jazz and the Thunder. Now, this is going to be a toss-up. My mind says Oklahoma City, but my heart says Utah. So I think that's going to be a 7-game series. So it's going to be OKC and Jazz in 7. Whoever wins. It's a toss-up. A big old toss-up right there. Now let's move on to the East, which is the easiest in all the NBA. The Bucks and the Magic. Bucks in 4. The Raptors and the Nets. Now, the Nets might actually get the Raptors a run for their money. I'm not saying that, the Nets might upset the Raptors. Because the Nets don't have Kyrie Irving. And the Nets don't have Kevin Durant. But if the Nets continue to play, like, really well, they might have a shot, but I don't see that happening. So I'm going to say Raptors in 6. Raptors in 6. Let's go to the Celtics and the 76ers. Ooh, a good matchup. Joel Embiid from the 76ers, and I'm going to guess Gordon Hayward of the Celtics. Yeah, Gordon Hayward of the Celtics. Now, Celtics got a lot of good players out there. So do the 76ers. But I think Sixers are going to win in 5. Because I don't think the Celtics are going to be that prepared for, you know, NBA action. Not going to be prepared at all. The Heat and the Pacers. I'm going to say the Heat because I feel like they've done really well. So I'm gonna. It's another one of those toss-up things, but I'm gonna go with the Heat because honestly I feel like some of those guys have really more experience than the Pacers. So I'm gonna say Heat in 7. Like seriously, Heat in 7. All right, so Lakers. So that would leave Lakers and either Kansas City or Utah. So it'd be the Lakers going against either Kansas City or Utah. It would obviously be the Lakers in like probably 6. And then you have like the Clippers going up against the Rockets. Clippers and the Rockets. I say the Clippers. Clippers are going to win in 6. Then we got the Bucks and the Heat. Bucks in 4. And then we got Raptors and the 76ers. A rematch, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to say Raptors in 6. So yeah. And then we got the Western Conference Finals. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Battle of Los Angeles. Oh, I think this is going to go with... I think if they play each other, it's going to go into a 7-game series. I'm telling you, it will go into a 7-game series. No joke. Definite 7-game series for the Lakers and the Clippers if they battle it out in the Western Conference Finals. Because let's be honest, these two LA teams are the supreme powerhouses of the West. I mean, the Clippers have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and Lakers have LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like, you get these two guys these 4 guys going against each other. Guess who's going to win? It's going to be LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Unless Kawhi and Paul George can think of a plan to, contain LeBron Davis, I just don't see how the Clippers are going to win. I don't think the Clippers are going to win. So I'm going to say the Lakers beating the Clippers in 7 games. Yep. Going with that. And then you got the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors again. Another rematch. Guess what I'm going to say? Bucks in 5. Because I think the Raptors are going to win game 1 and then just completely, collapse in games 2 through 5. So, Bucks in 5. And then that leaves us with Los Angeles and the Los Angeles Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, who's going to win it? Now, this could be a very interesting game. Well, NBA Finals. Because you got Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James. Now, LeBron James is a former MVP. He might win it this year. And then you got Giannis Antetokounmpo, last season's MVP. These two have both won MVP either once or multiple times. And I feel like it's going to be a great, great series. Now, Game 1, I think the Bucks will win it. Game 2, I think the Bucks will win. Now, Game 3 is when Los Angeles shows up. They win Games 3 and 4. Now, Game 6 is going to be a big one. It's going to be, well, not Game 6, Game 5, because it's 2-2. Game 5 is going to be a big one. Because you got LeBron trying to win this Game 5 so that they can take the lead in the series. So they can get that, sweet 17th championship and tie the Celtics for the most NBA titles. Because Los Angeles got 16 and Celtics got 17. It's going to be pretty interesting game, but I think LeBron and the Lakers will win by 3 points in Game 5. 3 points. Now, Game 6, I feel like Game 6 is going to go to the Bucks by like 12. And then Game 7. Game 7 is probably going to be in Milwaukee. Now, who do I think is going to win? Well, it's all going to come down to crunch time, like 5 minutes left in the game. Score is going to probably go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I feel like LeBron James and the Lakers are going to win that one. Because, excuse me, I feel like LeBron and the Lakers are going to win because LeBron's going to have to stop, lock down Giannis. If he locks down Giannis, then it's over. Lakers win the championship. So, yeah, I think the Los Angeles Lakers, are going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks in 7 games. And you can take that to the bank, for sure. So, yeah, the Lakers will be our 2020 NBA champions. The Lakers will win their 17th championship in franchise history. LeBron will win his 4th. Excuse me. Anthony Davis won his 1st. And yeah, everything will be all good. Everything will be all good. So yeah. Alright. So that's what I think is going to happen in the NBA playoffs. Nick has a comment right here. He says last time they played LeBron, locked him down. Okay, well, LeBron needs to figure out a plan how, excuse me, not to lock him down. LeBron has to figure out how to, not to get him locked himself down. All right, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, the Friday shoutout. And it's going to be a big shoutout, so you don't want to miss it. This is Big C in the morning on WUDG. Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artist. Now here's a song from P-Dot.
Ronnie.
P-Dot. Live back in the building, baby. Since day one. Who is it? P-Dot. You know the name. Yeah. I kill him. Every time I hit the stage, I kill him. Every time I grab the mic, I kill him. Live action, baby. Yeah. What? Kill him. Yeah. She be killing them. Killing them. She be killing them. Every time I hit the scene, I kill him. Yeah. Kill him. She be killing them. Killing them. She be killing them. Every time I hit the scene, I kill him. I be the dame on the dole, up the bill in the block, on my brain, like I'm deep, where we killing them. Who killing them? Who she killing them? Every time I hit the scene, ooh, I kill them.
We are back on WUDG Underground Columbus, home of the Unsiders and his Big C in the morning. And now it's time for, every week we do a Friday shoutout. So this week's Friday shoutout is to a beloved game show that I love dearly, dearly to my heart. It's a brilliant game show, folks. If you haven't heard this game show or never seen this game show before, it's pretty beautiful. It is beautiful. And I am talking about Jeopardy. Jeopardy is the greatest game show that I've ever seen in my life. It's basically how I get smart every time, my friends ask me a question. They're like, what is the state with the most cheese? And I'm like, Wisconsin. They're like, how do you know that? Jeopardy. Yeah, Jeopardy has been around since 1984. That's when Alex Trebek, who is currently still the host, took over. So, and a little fun fact, Jeopardy actually was around in 1964. That's when it first started. And then it went on for several years, and then it got canceled in 1975. Brought it back in 1978, and then canceled in 1979. Then they finally brought it back in 1984, and since then it has been the longest version of Jeopardy ever. And Alex Trebek has been hosting all this time for I would say 26 years. I think. Because 1984 plus 26. I may be wrong. Who knows? 30s. But he's been doing the show for, almost like maybe 36 to 37 seasons. And that's a long time. That is a pretty long time. So, I guess you could say he's been around for like 36 years. So he's been doing like 36 years of Jeopardy. And, he is like an amazing host. And like a year ago, 1 year ago, he announced that he had pancreatic cancer. I was like, no. And ever since then, he's been looking pretty fine. He's been doing well with his treatment, and he's just kicking cancer's butt. Like, seriously, Alex Trebek is awesome. And he's almost reached the 2-year mark of his pancreatic cancer diagnosis. So he's gonna live a long time, folks. He's gonna live a long time. Man, he makes Bob Barker look weak. I'm sorry, I like Bob Barker, but Alex Trebek makes Bob Barker weak. Like, seriously, it is pretty amazing. And even the game show Jeopardy is amazing. I love Jeopardy. I loved it when I was a kid, watching him ring in the answers and stuff. And honestly, school has taught me well, because all things I learned in school, I put into Jeopardy. They'll ask a question stating, who was the president that was assassinated first? I'm like, Abraham Lincoln. Who was the president that seen here? That's John F. Kennedy. Who's the president that did this? And I would know it. Basically, I know a lot of things. Basically, even celebrity trivia, I know because of Jeopardy. And they even have categories on video games, which I know because I played either the video game or I know what it is. That's how simple Jeopardy is. It's common knowledge that everybody knows, or some people know. That's why I love Jeopardy so much. It's things that I know and that other people know. And that's why the reason why they watch it. To get smarter, to learn new things, and, just saying, hey, I think I could have a try at this. Let me at 'em. Let me at 'em. And I really want to go on Jeopardy because, honestly, if you challenge me to a game of Jeopardy, either the PlayStation 2 version of Jeopardy, the Nintendo Wii version of Jeopardy, the Nintendo DS version of Jeopardy, or the Xbox One / PS4 version of Jeopardy, I will take you down because I am smart and I will get big money. I will find those daily doubles like James Holzhauer. I will earn over $2.5 million like Ken Jennings, and I will be unbeaten like Brad Rutter. And yes, I plugged all those 3 Jeopardy legends together in one full sentence. That's how hardcore I am at Jeopardy and how hardcore of a fan I am. Now, I don't think Jeopardy will ever come to an end. Now, Alex Trebek may retire or may not retire, but if Jeopardy needs a host for Jeopardy, I'm your guy. I know stuff. I do know stuff. So, vote for me as host when Alex Trebek decides to retire or decides not to retire. Who knows? I can do anything. I can even be the announcer like Johnny Gilbert. I can say this is Jeopardy. I can be that guy. So yeah, anything I can do, like be a smart person, go on Jeopardy or host Jeopardy or announce Jeopardy. I can do it. So yeah, Jeopardy is fun. It will never die. It's pretty good. So that's a shout out to Jeopardy, the greatest game show of all time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is my time. It's been an hour, so obviously it's 11 a.m. So thank you all for tuning in to Big C in the Morning. I hope you enjoy the show. Next week, we're going to talk about 2 more topics and another Friday shout out. Basically, that's how every week is going. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like it. But I appreciate your Patreons for watching. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been Big C in the Morning on WDG Underground Columbus, home of the unsigned artist. My name is Big C, and I am out of here. See y'all next week.